Hi everyone, Miss Heather. It is Saturday craft day again, and I have a little bit of sad news. This is the last craft day of our summer session. We plan to be back mid-September. We need a little bit of a break to get some things caught up around the library, and so it's not the last one. It's just the last one for now. But we have two really fun crafts. So one of them is an early form of animation called a thaumatrope. And that one is very simple to make, and I'm excited to show you how. The other craft we're making today is like a magic blooming flower. So that one is going to be fun too. I'm ready, so I'm going to head over to my craft station and let's get started. Alright, so for our thaumatrope, you don't need a lot, you just need some simple materials. I'm going to use a heavyweight paper. If you don't have a heavyweight paper, you can use regular printer paper and a piece of cardboard in between. But you do want their final product to be kind of heavier so that when we do the last step, it stays nice and stiff. So what you need to do is you need to, on your paper, trace a circle. And you want to make sure all your circles are the same size if you need to use multiple pieces of paper. So maybe choose one object and trace it multiple times. And if you are making yours out of regular printer paper and cardboard, you will need 2 white circles. Once you have your circles cut out and assembled, then comes the next step. So there's some important things we need to know about this next step. First off, you need to use really bold colors. So you could stick to just black and white, or if you're going to use colors, make sure you're not using pastels or really light colors because they're not going to show up as well in the final stage. The next thing we need to know is that we are going to create 2 pictures here. And our 2 pictures are later going to become 1 picture. So one example of something you could do is you could create a bird in a cage, but you have to create your images separately. So on one side you might create the cage, and then on the other you're going to draw the bird. Does that make sense? So you're going to make one image, but you need to split it into 2 parts. On mine, I'm going to create a flower growing out of the grass. So on one side, I'm going to make the grass and I'm going to add a sun, and then on the other side of my circles I'm going to draw in the flower. So then when we animate it, those 2 pictures will become 1. The third thing you need to know is that when you're ready to draw your second picture, you have to flip your circles over a very specific way, because you actually need to draw your next picture upside down. So watch how I flip my circles here. So you'll see that I just made it so that the grass is actually on the top of my circle against the table. So that's how you need to flip it. So then go ahead, add the second part of your drawing. I'm adding my flower now, again using really bold colors so that they're going to show up well. And then really carefully, I'm going to poke 2 holes in my circle, one on the left side of my drawing and one on the right side of my drawing. And do your best to make sure they're directly across from each other. Once your holes are poked, you're going to need to get 2 pieces of string. I'm using yarn, but you could use any type of string, or if you have rubber bands, those will actually work the best. So with our string, rubber bands, whichever, you're going to attach them to the holes. Now you need to make them kind of long enough so that you can hold them in your hands. And once your string is fully attached, your thaumatrope is actually done. And then the last step you have to do is to animate it. Now we've made the string long enough to hold in our hands because we're going to use our hands to make it animate. you're going to hold one string in each hand, and using your fingers, you have to very quickly twist that string back and forth. As you twist the string, your circle's going to rotate. And the faster you rotate your circle, the better your animation is going to show through. And that's it. That's how you make a thaumatrope. You can create any design you want and spin it to make a single animation. Our next craft is our magical blooming flower. So for this one, you need some regular printer paper, crayons, again, something to trace, or you can freehand it. This one's not as specific about needing a size. And then a bowl of water. So on your regular printer paper, start by either drawing out or tracing your base shape. And then around it, you're actually going to add like flower petals, or you can just do triangles. It's really up to you. Then go ahead and cut out your shape. Once your shape is fully cut out, that's when you're going to need your crayons. The important thing to know when we're doing this craft is when you start coloring with your crayons, you need to try to cover the entire shape. I'm just going to make the back of mine a plain color. I'm just using green. You can do yours however you want. And then on the inside, I'm going to create my flower. In my flower, I'm going to put a hidden butterfly in the middle, just to make it a little more creative. Now notice that I'm coloring in all of both sides of my shape here. Now we need to color in the whole thing because we're actually going to add this to water to make the magic happen. So once you have your shape colored in on both sides just the way you want it, you're going to carefully fold in all of the petals or triangles on your shape in towards the middle. Now you want the front of your picture, the thing you want to be revealed, facing up when you do this, because as it blooms, that's what's going to appear on the water. Then once you've finished that step, you need to get your bowl of water, and you're very carefully just going to place your shape on the surface of the water. Now I've sped the video up of my flower blooming because it does take a little bit of time, but these are so much fun, super simple, fun for the whole family, really, and I hope you'll all give them a try. And there you have it. That's this week's craft video, Magic Blooming Flowers and Thaumatrope Animations. I hope you all give it a try. Upload videos to the Brentwood Creative Share of what you've made. I'd love to see them. Go back and do the other craft videos if you miss them and upload those as well. Thanks everyone!